How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this Madden 24 video, I probably have some of the weirdest squads gameplay that you'll ever see, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And as you can see from this screenshot here, I have received some of my rookie premier cards, but not all of them. I'm still missing my tight end Darnell Washington. I'm still missing the free safety. I think his name is Jay Ward. And I'm missing, well, at least I have a duplicate of one of the offensive linemen, and I know that's kind of been happening. But in this particular video, I'm not going to be using any of the rookie premieres yet, just because I didn't have them yet when I was playing these games. I played these games a couple days ago, and I just received my rookie premieres. I was kind of waiting. I know some people still haven't received theirs at all, like they don't have a single one, so we might just have to wait a little bit longer. But with that said, I also wanted to wait before making any upgrades, or at least substantial upgrades to my team. I am going to be using a couple different quarterbacks in this video. I want to try out this Bryce Young, but I really don't think he's that good. Like, first couple games, I'm like, okay, he's a little bit better than the Josh Allen. He's a little bit more accurate, but I don't really like his release as much. And I think I'm going to end up using Aaron Rodgers or maybe Lamar Jackson. But I want to get the coin card because then at least I have some set value in that card, right? Because those cards kind of sell for 90K. I had a feeling that the Core Elite cards would drop in price once Rookie Premier cards were released, as well as Legends, right? We kind of got both at the same time. And those Legend cards are also really good. So I plan on making a couple upgrades to my team. But in this particular gameplay video right here, these opponents were trying to intentionally lose the game. Not yet. They're not quite trying to lose yet, but I think it's because I wasn't really throwing them the ball. But at the same time, they're making it a little bit tougher on offense for me. I mean, I did have a wheel route to the right there, but that's because any route I put out there on the field, these guys were running in a different direction. So I figured maybe I'll do that, and maybe they'll run a different route entirely. But it didn't work. Here they're trying to pitch the ball backwards. I'm not really sure. I didn't think that was a good running play. I didn't think we were going to get a touchdown on that stretch, but then we weren't even close. I'm going to have to try and throw a risky pass here. We scored, which is great, but then take a look at what happens here on the ensuing kickoff. I kicked the ball off, and they're obviously clicking to all the players, and they're just going to go ahead and dive with every single player. I don't really know why. I basically said, hey, if you guys are trying to lose the game, the fastest way to do that is just to quit out, and then maybe I can try and beat these guys, because I didn't really think these opponents were that great. I didn't really think their scheme was that good. I mean, we didn't really get a chance to see it either. I mean, that first drive, they kind of went down the field. My teammates called man coverage, and he didn't make like any adjustments. These teammates have no idea what they're doing when playing the game. They definitely bought a good team, which is great, because I'm hoping that they'll quit out, and that way I can try and play by myself with this defense and the offense without my teammates kind of just running around all over the place, not really knowing even how to cut. Right, in this game, if you're playing MUT squads as the head coach of the defense, you have to use both the triggers and the left stick to make a wide receiver cut. And a lot of people don't know that, especially once they first get the game, if they haven't played Madden in a little bit. But that's kind of what I've noticed so far, is that people are just running around. Some guys are just running around in circles. It's bound to happen. I mean, I've played a lot of MUT squads games with random people, but as you can see here, I mean, here we had an easy touchdown after we just gave another one up, and this guy intentionally runs away from the ball. So I did throw this pass here. This was a bad pass, obviously, right to the other team, but then I thought to myself, how can I kind of trick these guys? I didn't think they were very intelligent, but all I really said to them is, I don't really know how this is fun. I mean, I don't know how intentionally losing the game is that fun. And then I basically said, I hope you have fun playing this way the entire year. And then I just kind of muted my microphone, and I was still playing quarterback. Like, I was still throwing the ball. They didn't really know that I was still in the game. I don't know how. I mean, my cursor's still there. I'm controlling the player. I'm picking the plays, and I just couldn't stop laughing because these guys were like, I think he quit, and I'm hiking the ball. I'm throwing the pass, and he's like, yeah, I don't think he's playing anymore. And then they just turned off their console. So kind of got what I was looking for there, but at the same time, while we were playing, I was trying to help them. Like I was saying, these guys are calling for verticals. They're just running certain plays, and they're not changing anything. I was telling them that we should probably call zone coverage because our man coverage is getting beat every time. And I was telling them try to run the route that I'm putting out there, but they just weren't listening or doing any of that. I think they thought it was kind of funny I told him that we could probably win this game if we would just, try to play a little bit, or at least try a little bit on defense. But at the same time, I didn't really want them to, because they were messing it up, and they ended up winning the game by 1 point, came back and won it. The opponents went for 2, so that definitely helped me. But that was certainly a weird experience for me. I just don't really know, like, why would you even buy the game if you're intentionally trying to lose? I mean, I guess if you're trying to get the offensive player to quit so you can control them, like if you're the head coach and you don't have a team, some people do that intentionally, and I wish you could just kind of report them for grieving, but you can't. You can really only report them for an offensive name. But with that said, here in this next game, like, I have gotten some pretty good teammates as well, like some cool people to talk to, some guys that, we can talk football, we can talk about whatever while we're playing. But I also try and help people out, like if I notice, these guys are running cover 3 every single time, or cover 4, these guys are running a man blitz, like I'll call it out, I'll let them know things to look for, and I'm not perfect, like I'm not right every single time. But in this game, I also messed up. I went for a 4th and 2, and we didn't get it. I went for a running play, and unfortunately, we are losing the game now, but we were able to kind of come back. Right here, I thought about going down, before the 20, really trying to take as much time as possible. I wanted to take at least a couple of timeouts, but these guys, I don't really know if they could hear me in particular, because I was telling them not to score. Don't score, let's take a couple timeouts of theirs, because these guys were able to come back. And at this point, I wanted to tackle him right there, but at the same time, I didn't. This guy probably could have managed the clock a little bit better. Once he was playing solo as well, he was playing a lot better by himself. Sometimes it's hard to play squads because you don't really know the play styles of your teammates. You don't necessarily know what the offensive or defensive guys are trying to do. But if you do kind of understand the game a little bit, then you can pick up on some of those things and work together. But it doesn't always work out, especially when playing with random people. A couple people have messaged me asking to play, and I will definitely play. It's just a matter of timing, right? Sometimes I'm not able to get on exactly when you're able to get on. So that's why I just play with randoms. I don't really have a ton of friends that play this game specifically. I know a couple teachers actually that play. So I might play with some of them, but at the same time, I'm waiting for people to get a better team as well. I'll probably mix in some defensive gameplays where I'm controlling the defense. Here in this one, I'm still controlling the offense, and we picked up Aaron Rodgers. I wanted to test him out, see if there's any difference between that Bryce Young and this Aaron Rodgers. They have pretty similar attributes. Aaron Rodgers has, the ideal forced passes trait, which I think is important. But in this specific game here, my teammates quit out, and I'm using a 68 overall defense. That's all the players I have. All of them are 68. I think it's the starter team that they give you. And then, of course, I use J.C. Horn and Stingley on my special teams. So I plug them in at corners. I really only have 2 guys that can play defense. So I might mix them in at safety. I might mix them in at corner. I got to do something. I'm looking for one stop in this game, and I really have to score every single possession. I have played games like this before. I won a game last year with like a 78 overall defense, or maybe even lower, and that was against a 95 overall team entirely. So that was later on in the year. I know kind of what to expect when this happens. I really have to just hope that the opponents throw the ball right to me, and we got a goal line stand somehow. I have really no idea how I stopped the run, especially because these guys had a pretty solid team. Like you can see, they have 87 overall cards on defense. Luckily, though, their offense, didn't have, too many overpowered players on it. They do have Tony. They do have a couple really good players. But when you're using guys, with 70 speed, and maybe one guy like right here will make a play, the only guy on the field, just lucky play right there. But at the same time, it is really tough to try and just make a tackle even with a 68 overall player. They tend to break tackles pretty easily. These guys scored pretty fast, and I was trying to just manage the clock, manage the ball on offense, really trying to be strategic with my play calls, and there we ended up winning the game. But this is going to be my squad in the next video. Didn't really try out Lamar Jackson in this one, but I will get some gameplay with him and some of these rookie premier cards. I'm excited. I'll probably get into squads on defense. I know there's a tournament going on today. I'm not going to be playing in that though, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace out.